Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Your girl Indigo Diamond here with another video. Now this week I'm going to start doing a new series in which I just go through the Queens of Drag Race and essentially talk about how they did on each of their seasons. Now with some queens obviously being on multiple seasons or being on All Stars, I will include that into this video as well. So this video is obviously about Shangela, because I'm starting at season 2 and I'm just going to go forward from there because I didn't watch season 1, that and it was rough. But so Shangela herself obviously started on season 2, came back season 3 and had All Stars 3, so I'm going to go through all of those. In future, if I have already covered a queen during this series and they come back for an All Stars, I'll do sort of like a not a redo, I'll like revisit that queen after All Stars and essentially talk about how they did on that season of All Stars. It seems pointless doing like a whole new video, and maybe I will do a whole new video because then you only need to watch the one, you don't need to watch the other one. We'll see how I feel when it happens. I mean, there's a lot of queens and going through it one by one's going to take a long time, so probably won't matter for a while anyway. Although Sonique's on All Stars 6. We'll see. It's not something I need to worry about at the moment anyway. But before we get into that and start talking about the Hallelujah Queen, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, let you know about when I put new videos up, which is every week, because I haven't missed a week yet, and I'm very excited about the fact that I've not missed a week yet. It makes me very, very happy. So let's get into it. So Shangela, as I said, season 2, don't know why I've got this over here, season 2, then season 3, and then came back for All Stars 3. So let's start with season 2. So it's the promo picture, this side, promo picture for season 2 of Shangela. So Shangela was there for one day on season 2. She came in looking a mess, baby Shangy, and the episode was Gone with the Window, and it was a sewing challenge, which Shangela and sewing challenges go very well together, don't they? So Shangela ended up bottom 2 on that episode, very first episode, and she had to lip sync against Sahara Davenport to Cover Girl by Rupaul, and baby Shangy did not make it past that first episode. Poor Shangela. Thus ends her season 2 journey. That was very quick. But season 2 ends and then she pops back on season 3. Now season 3 Shangela was still not where she is today, but obviously growth, growth happens, and especially things like makeup and hair, they take time to perfect. I mean, it's not terrible today, so. But season 3, Shangela did a lot better. She made it a lot further than she did on season 2. So, I mean, episode 1 of season 3 was the Queen Who Mocked Xmas. It was another sewing challenge, and again, ended up in the bottom 2. This time she was lip syncing against Venus Delight. So I'm just going to move this over here quickly. So she ended up lip syncing against Venus Delight to the song The Right Stuff by Vanessa Williams. Unlike season 2, Shangela won the lip sync and she managed to stay. Woohoo! More Shangela, it's always good. Moving swiftly along to episode 3, and we've got the Queens in Space challenge. Now Shangela went from the last episode being in the bottom 2 to actually winning the challenge. Now it was a joint win because she won with Alexis Mateo. I think definitely a well-deserved win for both of them because they were the fembots, and they had to work well together to be able to succeed in that challenge. So I definitely feel like it was worth giving them both the win, and I love Alexis Mateo as well, so I can't really say anything against Alexis winning a challenge. I'm very happy for her to win as well. Swiftly on to episode 4, and we've got the totally leotarded, and now this was a, like, you know those really bad like workout videos you used to get, I want to say in the 90s, but I think they were earlier than the 90s. No concept of time, doesn't work for me. And they each essentially had to get like an object and kind of make it funny into like a workout. And now Shangela had a hula hoop, and she made it the hallelujah hoop. So it was funny. It definitely wasn't the funniest. So I think having her place safe was good on that. I think that was fair. But nonetheless, Shangela was funny. It was good. Moving on to episode 5, and we have QNN news. Now Shangela placed high in this, and she was the gossip section. Now I remember the judges telling her in this that, like the guest judges saying essentially, you knew what you were doing, you were like a professional with this, you could go out and tell any news place to like take a chance on you and they'd have a hard time saying no. I don't know how true that is, that could actually happen, but she placed high in this episode, and it was definitely well deserved her being in that top. She was great at the challenge, she knew what she was doing, she didn't struggle, she just did straight through it. On to episode 6, and we had the snatch game. Now for the snatch game, Shangela decided to do Tina Turner. It was a choice. It's not the worst snatch game ever. It's not the best snatch game ever, but I mean, as with every season, there's always a lot worse than Shangela did as Tina Turner, and she was safe for this episode, so that's fine. Next, episode 7 is the Face of Cakes episode. Now in this episode, essentially the queens, whoever won the mini challenge, got to give out cakes to the queens, and the queens had to essentially make an outfit inspired by this cake. Yeah, it's not really so good when you mention that you've got to make an outfit and Shangela's in the room. So Shangela placed low in this. I don't think it definitely was warranted for her not to lip sync in this episode. There was definitely worse people for this, but so she was low, but she skated through. It's fine. And then moving right along, we've got the episode 8 Ruhaha, which is the comedy challenge. So this is essentially where, this is like my personal highlight for Shangela in season 3, and it was because she did the Laquifa, the postmodern pimp ho. You know, they said Laquifa, I said what? They said Laquifa, I said bitch. Bit swearing. That's what she said. she won the challenge. I mean, there was no doubt. It was my favourite bit of seeing Shangela on season 3, and it's something I go on about to this day. I'll get in a mood and suddenly I'll just start quoting that to this day. It's just, I find it hilarious. I can't. But she won the challenge, very well deserved. I mean, there were a lot of other good ones in that, I think, but I definitely think she was just a little bit better and deserved the win. Next, Life, Liberty and the Pursuit of Style, episode 9. So this is when they had to do, is it PSAs, I think they're called, for the troops, and they were going to like send them over, sort of thing. So she placed low on this. I think it's difficult because you're getting to the sort of point at this where it's like it's a very fine line between being like top and bottom at this point. But I mean, I think with what she did, it was it made sense for her to be low but not lip sync again. You know, I think she had done well enough in the challenge just to, I think part of probably what put her in the bottom was just like her runway look. It wasn't like amazing. But on to season 3 episode 10, and we've got RuPaul Palooza. Now this is the one where they essentially had to record one of RuPaul's songs in a different style. Now they kind of went through and like picked what they wanted, sort of thing, and Shangela ended up with country. Now she had very old school country, and the outfit she decided to wear on the run for the performance was very like Carrie Underwood concert. And I do kind of agree with what Michelle said to her on the runway for this, because she tried to defend, Shangela tried to defend her choice, and she was like, I think we need to be very open about how country is, you know, it's not all just like sort of like denim, sort of like cowgirl sort of looks, you know, you do have country, more like this sort of country is what she was saying. And Michelle was like, yeah, but this isn't like, we're not reading you for this outfit because it's our preconceived notion of country. It's a case of the way the music was, it was that very old country. It wasn't the sort of like Taylor Swift and Carrie Underwood country, which I got it. It kind of, I can't really say it irritated me, because I understood. I got where they were coming from. But this landed Shangela in the bottom 2, and she had to lip sync against Carmen Carrera, and they did Believe by Cher. Now Shangela won this, and yeah, I think it was deserved. I definitely think she deserved to stay, especially over Carmen, who just didn't really put anything into it, like the challenge itself. And yeah, I don't think she really put a lot into the lip sync either. But what are you going to do? You know, it can get to a point where, you know, if you've can't talk today. If you've lip synced a few times, you kind of like, the fight goes out of you almost sometimes, because you have to, you know, it's like, oh, just keep trying and just not succeeding, you know, what more can you do, sort of thing. But Shangela stayed for another week, and we move on to episode 11. RuPaul's Hair Extravaganza. Already know this is going to be a bad episode for Shangela just by the name. And when you find out what the challenge itself is, you know it's not going to be great for Shangela, because it's again another design challenge. And yeah, she ends up in the bottom 2. Unfortunately, she ends up lip syncing. God, I really can't say lip syncing today, apparently, can I? She ends up lip syncing against Alexis Mateo. Now, I was very torn with this lip sync when I first saw it, because I love them both. I really wanted them both to stay. I knew it probably wasn't really going to happen, and it didn't. So this is where Shangela's season 3 journey stops, as Alexis Mateo eliminates her lip syncing to Angels by Fantasia Barrino. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. But I think, I'm glad they gave her the chance to come back from season 2. I definitely think it was a good payoff for both. I think it was nice because Shangela got to show so much more of herself, so much more of her personality, because obviously when you go home first you don't really get to show any of that. I really think it showcased like her talents, especially as a comedian, and especially as like a newswoman. I mean, God, she could do that. I would agree, she did that very well. But you know, unfortunately it came down to her lip sync again. English is not my friend today. It came down to her lip sync again, Alexis, and Alexis was just slightly better. Unfortunately, that is where her season 3 journey ends. Now, Shangela does not appear, well, she appears frequently throughout Drag Race, but like not as a contestant. The next time she will become a contestant is when she comes back for All Stars 3, so from Season 3 to All Stars 3. So this is the last time she's been a contestant on Drag Race, because no one really counts the Christmas special because they all won. So, but this is, I would definitely say this is where Shangela shined the most. And I think it's because she came back when she was ready. I'm sure they must have asked her to come back beforehand, but I definitely think she chose the right time to come back. And, you know, she did really well on All Stars 3. So, starting with episode 2, let's say episode 2 because, like with season 3, they had like the casting special as the first episode, so just skip that because nothing really happens. All Stars 3 episode 2 is the All Star Variety Show. Now, Shangela opened the show, she was lip syncing, brilliant. You know, it's the sort of thing you'd expect from Shangela. She did it really well. You know, and she placed high, which I'm sure was nice for her not to be in the bottom on the first episode. But no, it's definitely, you know, what a way to come back and just kind of be like, bam, look, here I am. Brilliant. Episode 3 was the Drag Divas Live, which is where they would bring back a like Divas Live TV thing, and they were like honouring Rupaul. And so all the queens got given a singer slash actress, and I say slash actress because Ben de la Creme got given Julie Andrews, and I think of Julie Andrews more of an actress than a singer. Maybe just me? I don't know. What do you guys think? Julie Andrews, actress, singer, what do you think of? I think actress personally. Like, because even if you say like Broadway, it's still acting with singing in it. I don't know. But back to Shangela, because we're not doing Ben de la Creme, that's way off. But yeah, Shangela was given Mariah Carey. Shangela was hilarious. I mean, it helped that the writing was good. And, you know, she committed. It was brilliant. It was really funny. So, with All Stars, instead of the bottom 2 lip syncing, it was a case of, well, for All Stars 3 and All Stars 2, All Stars 4, and then they changed it for All Stars 5, the top 2 would lip sync against each other, and then whoever won got to send one of the bottom queens home. So, Shangela, I don't know why my brain just went blank, lip synced against Ben de la Creme to Jump for My Love by the Pointer Sisters, and Shangela won. It was close. I don't know. I really like Ben de la Creme. I also really like Shangela, and I do think it was. I don't think there was much in it with who won the lip sync, but yeah, I mean, Shangela won, and she sent Thorgy Thor home. Now, I was really sad to see Thorgy Thor go because I met her when I went to see Christmas Queens 3. No, Christmas Queens 3? I think it was Christmas Queens 3. In Brighton. And Thorgy was really lovely, she was really bubbly. This was just before All Stars 3 came out, actually. God, that was a while ago at this point. But she was really nice, and I was really excited to see her back on All Stars. I'm really hoping she gets asked back to come for an All Stars at another time, because I just would love seeing Thorgy Thor. She's brilliant. But I understand where Shangela was coming from with eliminating her, because they were like, oh, Kennedy, who was the other queen in the bottom, had a much taller order in regards to her character that she was portraying, and Thorgy Thor was just really getting ahead, and they're like, oh, you know, she didn't really put much into it, she was more focused on getting into other queen's acts. In my personal opinion, I don't think Thorgy should have been in the bottom for that episode. I maybe would have put don't hate me for this, I maybe would have put milk in the bottom for that episode. And I don't know, it's just one of those things, because like every time I watch it, I just think to myself, it's like, for me, this is Stevie Nicks, and for me, looking at how Thorgy looked, it was Stevie Nicks. But I don't know, maybe I'll save that more. go more in depth with it when I get to talking about Thorgy. It's going to be way off again. But yeah, Shangela won the lip sync. She sent Thorgy home. I can see why she did it. Yeah, move on. Episode 4 was The Bachelor, and Shangela was safe in this. I can very much understand why she was safe. The character she was given, because they all had to kind of like, they were all given characters and then they were kind of paired up to do like the dating scenes, and she was paired with Chi Chi Devane, bless her, and they were a polyamorous couple. And the guidance they were given from Rupaul was that Shangela's more into Chi Chi and Chi Chi's more into the Bachelor, so the guy that they're supposed to be on the date with. Shangela was her normal, really funny self, you know, comedy challenge. Shangela's going to excel, really, isn't she? And Chi Chi, bless her, she just, don't know, she just kind of got bulldozed by Shangela, which again I felt bad for her. And it's difficult because not everyone's like able to like just reel off being funny, you know, it's not something that everyone can do. But there we go. Shangela was safe for that episode, so we will move on to episode 5. Now episode 5 was Snatch Game. All Stars 3 had some really good Snatch Game characters, also had some really awful Snatch Game characters. Again, like most seasons you'll get to Snatch Game and it's very hit and miss with who does well and who doesn't do well. But she was one of the winners for the Snatch Game, and she played Jennifer Lewis, who she is quite close friends with, so it's, well, I was going to say it's one of those things, is like if she's quite close friends with her, you kind of expect her to do well, but you get some people that they're really close to a character and they just absolutely bomb it. So, no, I mean, Shangela did well. She had to lip sync against Ben de la Creme again, and this time it was to I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry. This was a really fun lip sync to watch, I will admit. It was funny because they interacted with each other, but they didn't like hinder each other. It was very much like all done in jest, and it was all very helpful, I feel. And obviously the judges did too, as they both won. So that was nice. So at this point, both won, and they both sent Chi Chi home. Now, one of my favourite things about Chi Chi from All Stars 3 specifically was the fact that she knew essentially that she like wasn't doing well, and she was like happy to admit that. And you know, she even said to like it was Bendela, because like every time they were sort of talking to each other, because Bendela was in top like every challenge basically, and she was like, you know, just be fair. And I really respected her for that, because it's a case of, it's like, no, you know, I respected it because it's a case of, she was like, you know, I'm not doing well, I honestly don't know if I have the fight left in me at this point, because, you know, episode 5, and she'd been in the bottom for quite a lot of the season. And yeah, I really commend her for being brave enough to just be like, look, you know, I'm not doing so well, these are the queens, I feel I'll just, you know, will do better if they stay than I would be able to. And you know, she got eliminated by both Bendela and Shangela. I feel like it was the right choice, and honestly, you know, just hats off to Chi Chi for having the bravery to be able to say, look, I'm not doing it. So we'll move on to episode 6, Now, episode 6 was the pop art ball. So it was the design challenge of All Stars 3, and poor Shangela again was in the bottom for the design challenge. And bless her, like in the season she was like, you know, I've taken sewing lessons, you know, I've really tried. And I mean, you know, you got to commend Shangela. Every time there was a sewing challenge, she tried. Didn't do well, but she tried, and that is the important thing. She tried and she didn't give up. And at this point, you know, it was Bibi Zahara Benet and Trixie Mattel that ended up in the top 2. Bibi won the lip sync and saved Shangela, and it was later revealed that Trixie would have also saved Shangela. So, woohoo! Happy days, Shangela makes it through another episode. Now we go to episode 7, which is Handmaids to Kitty Girls, and this is the Returning Queens challenge in All Stars 3, so it's the chance that the returning queen, the eliminated queens get to return. So they had to form 2 opposing girl groups. You had the queens that were still in the competition versus the queens that have been eliminated. In my personal opinion, the eliminated queens group was better. Just my personal opinion, but I think they were more cohesive as a girl group than the queens that were still in the group. I feel like the queens that were still in the group seem very much, I don't know, I just felt like they seemed kind of like girls that had just been thrown into a group and gone, there you go, have fun. Whereas I feel like the eliminated queens were just so cohesive as a team, like they felt like a girl group. They felt individual enough in themselves but still grouped together. I don't know how else to put it, but the winning group is the queens that are still in the competition. The top 2 All Stars are Ben de la Creme and Bibi Zahara Benet, and that means that Trixie, Shangela and Kennedy are the bottom 3 for the episode. Now, this is the episode where Ben de la Creme eliminates herself. So, obviously Shangela makes it through. Bibi doesn't show her lipstick in the next episode, but it's heavily rumoured that she picked Trixie Mattel to go home. Now, I don't feel like Trixie was warranting to be sent home in that episode, so I kind of a bit like about that. But I mean, obviously I can't be too because I don't know if that's true. She might have picked her, she might not have. She might have picked someone else. Personally for me, I would have picked Kennedy to go home, and I love Kennedy Davenport. I think she is brilliant. I really saw her making top 3 in season 7. But she had some really good moments on All Star 3, but it just, you know, she ended up in the bottom quite a lot. But, you know, that episode, Ben de la Creme eliminates herself and brings back Morgan. Shangela makes it through to the next episode, which is who we're here to talk about. So episode 8 is the like acting challenge, and the episode for this, it was just my best squirrel friend's dragsmaid's wedding trip. Now in this, I just remember every time this episode comes up, all I think about is Kennedy really struggling to say the title, and to be fair, I do not blame her. I struggle with that title and I've got it written in front of me, and she was probably just trying to remember it. So, you know, good on you, Kennedy, for getting nearly half of it correct. I struggled and I have it written in front of me. But this was the acting challenge. This was... Shangela was... essentially, she was Octavia Spencer. In the challenges, like her characters were like all characters that Octavia Spencer had played, and she won. She was in the top. She went against Trixie Mattel, who also did really flipping well in that challenge, and it was definitely like they were the top. There was no squabbling squabbling about it, they were the top two. The other three? The three? Yeah, the other three kind of did bad. Just my opinion. They didn't do well. Kennedy was just... I think if I had to have picked... If I only had to put... Instead of having three, if I only had to pick two to be in the bottom for that episode, Kennedy wouldn't have been in the bottom for that episode for me. Because I just felt like she did better than BB and Morgan in that episode. But... so Shangela goes against Trixie in a lip sync. And they lip sync to Freaky Money by Rupaul. God, would you believe I've not had a single drink today? Freaky Money by Rupaul featuring Big Frida? Brilliant lip sync. Shangela wears a fat suit. People got offended by Shangela wearing a fat suit. I thought it was funny. And as a fat person, I'm allowed to think it's funny. But Shangela wins the lip sync. She eliminates Morgan McMichaels. Trixie later reveals she would have done the same thing. In my opinion, right choice. You know, she had been brought... Oh god, wow, English today. Morgan had been brought back, and she had to win the challenge, essentially, to not be sent home. If it was like earlier on in the season and she had been brought back and she was safe, that would have been okay. But because she was brought back and she was just instantly in the bottom again, and it's kind of one of those things, I feel like if you've been brought back and then you're in the bottom, you kind of have to be eliminated. Unless, I think if they had done like decently, but because they didn't win they were in the bottom, I feel like it would have been okay to keep her. But Morgan's problem was because she got the opportunity to pick who she wanted, and it was just a case of she just picked a really hard character and just wasn't able to do it. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it was. Morgan goes home and Shangela makes it onto the final episode. Now, the final episode, episode 9 of All Stars 3, is a choice. So the episode's title is A Jury of Your Queers. Now, what they decided to do for this is bring back all the Eliminator Queens and essentially get them to make up a jury to decide who was going to be the top 2 of the season. I did not like that as an idea. And they've never done it since, and it's because it was a bad choice. But essentially what they had to do is the 4 remaining queens had to write their own verses to Kitty Girl, perform it in a video, and then they walked the runway. They each had their own one-on-one with the Eliminator Queens. The Eliminator Queens then got to pick 2 people each. So the first person they picked got 2 points, and the second person they picked only got 1 point. Shangela, who had done... Essentially, at this point, Shangela was the front runner. She was the one that had done the best in the competition. Shangela got 1 point, and the person that gave her that 1 point was Thorgy Thor, the one that Shangela eliminated, and essentially that Thorgy had written the note about, and wrote kind of like a bit rude mirror message. But you know, she was in her feelings. You can understand that. You know, she'd wanted this really badly and then got eliminated when she didn't feel like she should have been the bottom. But I'm going to commend Thorgy at this point, because Thorgy and Shangela hadn't had the best relationship throughout All Stars 3, and then for Thorgy to be like, no, I think you deserve a spot in that top 2. So she didn't make it. because she got 1 point. And, you know, it's why Shangela's become, like, the face of, like, the robbed queens. Because she made it to that top 4. And she should have been in the top 2. Like, I think even Michelle Visage said that she should have, you know, she should have been the one to win. And, yeah, I mean, originally it was Ben de la Creme should have won. But then as soon as Ben eliminated herself, it should have been Shangela. And I love Trixie to pieces. I really do love Trixie. I think she's hilarious. But I do think that Shangela should have won the season. And so do a lot of other people. But, you know, will she come back for another All-Stars? Maybe one day. I would like to see Shangela come back for another All-Stars just because she's good TV. Nothing else. She is good TV. And, you know, that's what you need on Drag Race. You need people that will make good TV. And I firmly believe that's why she keeps getting asked back. So I have no doubt in my mind that she will be asked back for future All-Stars. And maybe one day she'll be like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to come back and I'm going to do an All-Stars. And I bet you she'll kill it until it comes to a design challenge. No, I would like to see... I don't know if she'll be able to, but I would like it to be a case of when she comes back for that next All-Stars, that she manages to, like, do really well in a sewing challenge. I think that'd be great. But that is the timeline of Shangela on Drag Race. You know, every time she's come back, she's done better. And if it hadn't been for the jury, I think she would have won hands down on All-Stars 3. So, fingers crossed, you know, she'll get another chance and maybe she'll win. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below. Would you like to see Shangela come back for another season of All-Stars? Not a regular season. She's too good for that. She's done her regular season twice. But yeah, I would like to see her. So let me know. Do you want to see Shangela come back? Yes? No? Maybe? I don't know. But that is all from me today. Look, it's under an hour. Hooray! Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Comment if you'd like to see Shangela come back. Or comment and say hi. Why not? I'll say hi. If ever there's a comment, I will always try and... If I feel like it needs a reply, I'll reply. If not, I'll just, like, heart it to show that I have acknowledged you. And I see that you are there. But apart from that, that is all from me today, guys. I will see you all next week. I hope you have a nice week in between. Don't work too hard if you're not working at the moment because you've been furloughed because whatever reason. I feel for you. I'm personally not furloughed because my job I can't do from home, but I do feel for you. It's tough. It really is. I cannot personally, like, not sympathise. It's not. I can't personally feel exactly how you're feeling because I'm not in that position, but my heart is there for you. I love you guys. I'll see you later. See ya.